This video is an overview of geolocation. Geolocation is the way that you actually are able to organize information in a value-added way, but from where it's actually located on Earth. And we'll talk about some of the approaches to this, and we'll talk about how easy it is using vidlisting.com to actually geolocate your content that you're using. The internet has changed a lot of how we work and how we deal with prospective customers. We have customers now all over the world, all of us, and that impacts your local business. So if while I'm on the internet I'm generating all sorts of content such as document files and YouTube videos and vidlisting videos and images and PDF documents and real estate shows, what we need is a common currency to actually be able to pull those together so that I can get a complete content picture of any point on Earth. And that point on Earth can be a town, it can be a house, it can be a business, it can be just about anything. And this is what geolocation does. Geolocation actually synchronizes locations on Earth and what prospective buyers and other people are looking for with the content that you already have out on the internet. Let's say, for instance, one of the things that vidlisting can do is it actually can geolocate local blog posts that haven't even been written by you. So there's a set of people that are writing about your particular local area. Vidlisting has an engine, a motor that goes out and looks for that content and then actually geolocates it and makes that available to you within your particular location. It does that for blog posts, and it does that for marketing reports. We also have a custom engine that can go out and look for specific types of content that then can be privately available just to you. That's a premium service. As we spoke about, we're using latitude and longitude as the currency, and I want to talk about some of the other approaches that are available out there and why we think that latitude and longitude is the best way to go about doing your geolocation. So the first is zip codes. Big downside to zip codes is basically it's only in the United States and a couple of other countries where they have postal codes. Zip codes, oftentimes in large metropolitan areas, there's multiple zip codes for a particular area. So if I'm looking for a property within a reasonable radius of a particular place, I may actually be crossing zip codes. And as a seller, that's confusing because now I have out-of-town buyers who may not know exactly what zip code is which. And also, people just generally don't think in terms of zip codes. Another downside is what happens when you have a property that's actually close to this invisible line that makes up your zip code. So I have a property as shown here, and I have a set of content that's related to the particular area in which I'm searching. When I'm using zip code as my method of geolocation, now all of a sudden the information that's just outside the zip code that I'm searching for is no longer available to me, even though it might be completely applicable to the property or business or community that I'm actually, as a prospective buyer, interested in. Another approach is keywords. You have the same basic conceptual problem with keywords for your geolocation. Using a keyword is, for instance, to use the word Miami or Birmingham or Beverly Hills as your particular keyword. The problem is that if that keyword isn't included in other content that's around the property that you're actually searching for, then it's not included in your actual search results. That's why we prefer to actually use latitude and longitude. Let's talk for a second how quickly and easy it is to actually geolocate content on VidListing. Almost all of our interfaces at the point at which you actually upload or add content into VidListing has some sort of interface where where you're able to actually put the geolocation information. And it's actually quite easy. The first thing that you do is you select your country. We serve over 80 countries at this point where we're actually able to geolocate content that you add into into the VidListing content library. So the first, in this particular case, we want to geolocate for Silverdale, Washington. So we choose USA first. Then we come down, we drop down to the state, which we'll choose Washington. And then we'll choose the city. And if you notice, we'll need to first select the range of first letters for the city. And when we go to O to Z, that's where Silverdale will be found. And then we drop down and we find Silverdale. And now we've actually geolocated this particular piece of content for Silverdale, Washington, and the surrounding area. The best thing about this approach is you don't need to know anything about latitude and longitude. You don't need to enter any latitude or longitude information in. It's actually all calculated for you. Also, our engine that's out looking for content and geolocating that content is also using latitude and longitude. So you'll be able to have access now to community information that perhaps wasn't even written by you, that is also geolocated and uses that same common currency, so that we can associate that community information with your particular content or your particular prospective buyers. That's the basic overview on geolocation. We plan on having other videos that talk a little bit more about advanced uses for geolocation.